guys, we're back at it here. Stroke edition video at the Quick Speed Shop. We're working on the 40 Mercury. You're under the hood, and I had some parts come in from Summit Racing. Namely, the thing if I was waiting for this car is, I've got this adjustable billet, or it's not billet, it's cast aluminum water neck to line up the radiator hose straight to the radiator, and it's Summit number 371101 from Summit. And the reason I have this is, originally, this car had this big hose. It's all a corrugated metal hose and is all goosenecked up and out. You don't really want your coolant lines goosenecked up and out to trap air. So I wanted to come straight out of the engine. This radiator's pretty low, so I wanted to come straight out of the engine. So I got this guy from Summit, and I filled the engine back up with coolant through the thermostat port. I've got a high flow 180 thermostat in it. And the reason I filled it up through the engine, I've got the water up to this level in the radiator and the engine and everything. That eliminates all the air that's possibly could get in the engine block. So we'll have a lot better time when we get it running, burping any air out of the system. This thing's got speed holes in it to let the air bubbles out, but I filled it right up just below the thermostat. So these lines are all full and everything. So that should be good for blowing her out. And the way this seals with an O-ring, I've put a little RTV on the surface around the thermostat and on the surface anyways, just to double lock her down. But it seals an O-ring and it's adjustable. And I just need to set her here. Now I have one hole that's a little goofy in the intake, so hopefully it's not stripped. But I got 2 Allen bolts that came with the kit, and they're just going to drop right down in here and start getting in the hole wherever the hole is. Get in the hole. Get in your hole. I can't see the hole. Where are we? Oh, whoop. It's got to go over here a little bit. And basically the O-ring seals the water neck down when you get it there. And I'm going to have it as close to the center hole as I can, the center, what do you call it, oil fill tube. Ooh, that's, hopefully grab some threads. I ran a tap through it originally, so I just need room to get a hose on here. This has got a fitting on the side of it, but I'm pretty much in line, so I think I'm going to go with that. And like I said, the holes are a little bung food in the intake. Where's my ratchet? I had a ratchet. Are you kidding me? I didn't bring it over with me. Hold on a minute. Here it is. So my holes are a little, this hole on this side is a little stripped. And I'm hoping it's on a grab. It feels like it's grabbing. Yes, it is. We got a couple of threads are not going to get nuts. This one's going to go down. It's just squishing the O-ring. It doesn't have to be really tight. Hopefully that hangs on. I think it's all right. So that guy's good there. It squished the O-ring. The thing is right where it needs to be. Plus I got a little bit of RTV on there. If I got to take it back off my helicoil or something, it's going to be fine. There we go. Perfect. So now I got a straight shot, one to the other, that with that 90, that's going to be awesome for not having any air get stuck in it. And all I need to do is get a straight piece of rubber hose that I'll put on later. I'm going to leave it off for now because we do have to replace the engine mounts, and I need to pick the engine up or jack it up and get the rubber engine mount. There's isolators the bolt goes through. They're both dry rotted. I got to replace those, some urethane ones. So we'll leave this unhooked for now, but we're going to need a piece of rubber hose that looks like it's going to be 12.5 inches. I believe it's 1.5 inches. Yeah, 1.5 inch radiator hose, 1.5 inch radiator hose, yep. So I have a collection of like used and stuff radiator hoses that will probably work. Straight one, or I can go to the auto parts store and just find something that's straight with a 1.5 inch straight section in it. And go from there. Actually, hold on. I got C10 hoses right here that should also be 1.5 inches, and they're pretty long. Just let me grab one. I think this is probably the upper hose for the 67 to 72 C10. Let's see, it would come off the water neck at an angle, which should be here. This might be the lower hose, actually. I don't know, it's kind of got a weird, where would the water outlet be? On this side, how does the, oh, you know what? It probably goes like that. There we go. That's probably the upper hose, which gets right out of the way. But is this has got a straight piece in it? We could just eyeball it. I could buy one more. Not long enough. Well, I'll have to go to my collection of hoses. I've got a whole pile of them and look for a straight section. Or get a universal, like, corrugated hose or something like that. Yeah, the lower hose is a bigger diameter. So I'll just go look for hose later on. You could even cut a piece of aluminum tube, 1.5 inch aluminum tube, and just put 2 little biscuits on either side and have it be aluminum, but there's no reason for that. We'll just make it out of rubber. But that should, hopefully these threads hold on. It's got about 4 or 5 threads holding it down, and I didn't get crazy tightening it down. So once the RTV sets and stuff, it should hold it. Hopefully it won't leak. If anything, I'll have to helicoil it and go from there, but we should be okay. So that was a nice shot. The rest of the engine is pretty much dialed in. I got the valve covers on. Oh, I got a gasket. I got to pull the carburetor off. I got a new gasket here, so I just threw this together just to get a look at it. And I can put a new gasket on that, bolt the carburetor down permanently. I made a new fuel line last time with a bracket. That's all good to go. I'm waiting on plug wires. They're coming tomorrow, I think, from Summit Racing. And hopefully we can put the plugs on it. And that plug wires on it. And I think that'll be all it needs what it needs to get. Why do I see water down here? Oh, I know why, because I spilled some when I was filling her up and it rained down on it. Pretty sure I spilled it. Yeah, I see some in the crank. What else is going on here? It looks good. When's the last time I changed oil in this thing? Let me look at my chart on the wall. 1940 Mercury, is it even on there? No. I'll have to look up the last time I changed the oil in the engine. What does the oil look like? Let's take a look. Ooh, it's black. Probably need to change the oil while it's here, because I don't remember the last time I changed oil on it. Did I write it on the filter? I should have, but I can't see. I'll probably go ahead and change the oil anyways, but I can pop the carburetor off, put a new gasket on there. I've got an air cleaner to put on it. We'll be good to go with that. Okay, I got a new gasket on the carburetor. Got it all bolted back on permanently. Greased my throttle cable mount over here. Everything's hooked up, ready to go. The fuel line is off though, as you can see, because I want to put a manual choke cable on this. I got this Dorman unit. It's Dorman number 55101, and it was super cheap. I bought it from Summit through... or from Dorman through Summit Racing, I think. Pretty sure, yeah. My buddy works for a company that's owned by Dorman now, so I try to buy Dorman stuff sometimes if I can, just because. This is like cheap made in China junk, but it's literally a cable with a knob. How bad can it be? So this is the 600 CFM Edelbrock 1405 that came off the 400 small block that was in the Buick, which was probably a little bit small for a 400, but it's going to be perfect for this 350. And as you can see, whoa! As you can see, there's no electric choke or nothing over here, but there is a choke plate that you can see operates. So for the last, I don't know, almost 30 years that this carburetor's been on the Buick engine, it's had no choke and made the car very hard to start, especially when it sat around for a while and or was cold. And I just noticed I'm missing my air cleaner gasket. I'll have to find that. But you can buy an electric choke for this, and the 3 deuces we took off in the last video had electric choke, but it was fed off the positive side of the coil, which really isn't the best case scenario. You kind of want, you know, pure 12 volts going to your coil at all times, and you should have a separate switch source for the choke, just because that's a resistor, basically a resistance circuit that heats up, and you're going to suck voltage out of your, I mean, I guess it, as long as you get enough amperage feeding it, it should be all right-ish, but it's not the best scenario. So instead of buying an electric choke kit for this, which was, I don't know, 50 or 60 or 70 bucks, and converting it to a 1406, which I think would be the part number if you had electric choke right from the get-go, I'm just going to put a $13 Dorman choke cable on it and go right through the firewall to the bottom of the dashboard with a manual choke cable, because the mount that I'm going to have to use, I'm in the light, the mount that I'm going to have to use to choke on this thing is going to be not very high, But you can see it's already got the bracket to hold the choke cable here, and it's already got the thing where the thing's going to go. So I don't see why we can't just drill a hole like right about here, through the firewall, just run a choke cable right into the car, mount it, comes a little mounting bracket, we'll mount it right to the bottom of the dash, or drill a hole in the dash and put it right in the dash, one of the two, and just stab this choke cable on, and so we got control of choke, and do it cheap and easy and down and dirty, because this car is just going to be a driver, it ain't a show car, and a manual choke cable is going to be perfect. So let me go and see what the best place is to drill a hole through the firewall, make sure I'm not going to drill into anything exciting there, and we're pretty much going to poke a hole right about there, bam, right through the firewall. Looks like a 1/4-inch hole would be plenty, and just stick the cable right through it, and we'll hook her right up right now. All right, I'm just going to go for it. I looked. I think it's okay. That's about where I want to be. At about there-ish. Oh. Oh. Apparently there was body filler on the firewall, because now there's a big chip out of it. Dang it. Oh, that's metal. What the heck's going on there? That was not very good. I don't understand what that was about, but can I... Oh. Well, that is extremely unfortunate. Whoops. It's like 2 layers of metal there, and the outer one just tore through. So now it looks terrible. Dang it. Well, good thing we're not building a show car. We're just building a car. Whoa, there's all kinds of bits and pieces and whatnots and wingdings, and we don't need any of that. All we need is the cable and the bracket to hold it to the firewall, or to the dashboard. So let's boondoggle this guy. Check this thing out. It's like a freaking... Yikes! This thing's like a freaking tiger monkey. Get out of there. Holy shamoly. Whew. Holy... Dang, bro. Well, that was fun. This thing is 1,000 miles long. But I think we're good. So where's my bracketry? Do I got to stick the bracketry on here for the mount? There's all kinds of parts and pieces, but there's a big guy mount and a little guy mount. I'm going to use the little guy mount because I can... we're going to zip screw it right to the bottom of the dash somehow. So I think I only need the little guy mount, which is right here. A couple little screws. So that's what we're going to take and put on here. It also comes with this big guy mount, but I don't think we need the big guy mount. So I'll just thread this on. Right there. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't take the nut off. Dang it. Okay, let's unthread that. Take the nut off. Unthread the nut. Now I'll thread that on. Man, what a process. Thread the nut back on. Ta-da. All right. Oops, there's the paint. Don't worry about the paint. Okay. And this guy will just ta-da onto there. Perfect, and we'll screw that to the bottom of the dash, but check it out, you get your little push-pull action. So let me stick this through the firewall. Where is it? Oh, it's the new one. Holy cow, this cable's going to be about 70 miles too long. It's fine. So I'm going to jam this guy through here. And... uh-oh. Do I need to make a bigger hole? Nope. Perfect. Where's that going? Oh, there we are. Ooh, that's like 1,000 miles too long. I guess we'd rather be looking at it than looking for it. I'm gonna come up here, I need some back. Let's see, this is gonna go right here on the, oops. What is that? That's something I can kind of fitting. Probably the smart thing to do would be mount it to the dash first so we know we're good. But oh, how did it get down there? You guys didn't tell me it went away. Holy smokes. Yeah, so we're just gonna mount about there. Man, we gotta do this is very long. Okay, let's see, the choke is open. Okay, so it's gonna go there. It's gonna work out all right. I'll have to find some yellow paint to touch up that firewall or do something with it, but yeah, that'll work. Let me just double check the inside, and maybe I'll vice grip it to the dash, or maybe I'll drill it, mount it in the dash real fast, and then we'll come out here, we'll mark this with a Sharpie. We'll cut the outer sheath off right about there. So we got a little extra sticking through, and then we'll just hook the cable up to it and we should be good to go. Okay, I got the cable cut off here. I lined up the edge of the cable with the edge of the bracket here. I've already tightened down the clamp inside, and now this is where we're going to set the choke cable. I drilled a little lever arm here on the choke out to accept this little brass piece with a screw to grab the cable end, which came with the kit. So all I got to do to set this is I'm going to open the choke all the way, make sure the cable is pulled tight, and then you just tighten this little screw down and it jams the cable, which is easier said than done. I need a little bit bigger Phillips, but what I'm going to do is tighten this guy down with the Phillips, and then I'm just going to bend the cable around underneath so there's a little extra in case I ever need it. I don't want to cut it off all the way, but this is like a jam screw, and then I'm just going to take, oh, holy shamoly, that was great. Take this, and I'm just going to bend it around, and try to bend it around anyways. Is this going to mess with my action? Not really. Don't snap off. Okay. All right. I'm just going to bend her around like that so it's got a hook on it as well. Now, is that going to pull and get impeded? No, but it's a little long. I'm going to take my snippers and I snip about a ½ inch of that off, so it's just got a little piece of action around it. Boom, right there. Take these pliers and just try to, I guess that'll be okay. Just got to remember it's there. Don't jam your hand into it. Now you guys watch. I'm going to go inside the car and I'm going to pull the choke cable, and it should close the choke. See? Yep. Can I see it from where I'm at? Kind of. That's closed. That's open. That's closed. Boom, that's open. Is it open all the way? Yes. So there we go. So that'll allow me to have the choke. It'll also allow me to have fast idle over here. On this side of the carburetor, we got the fast idle cam. So when the choke is closed, which should be here, it's going to go up on this cam, and I can adjust this fast idle screw to give me fast idle action. You can see here we're up on the fast idle screw, and I don't know if we're on fast idle at all. What I'm going to do is open that, and I'm going to set the screw so it's just slightly off that when it's closed, when the choke is open. Because right now I think it's backed way off, if I remember correctly. Actually, we gotta Close it just a hair. Get a baseline here. Let's see, close. All right, you guys can tell there's a little gap. I'm gonna run that screw in just a little bit. So it's barely touching. Can I get this little guy in here? Maybe. Kind of. Can I, if I run the throttle open, can I get to it? Yes, I can. Let me run the throttle all the way open. Get in there with a longer screwdriver. We can put some English on her and make it a little bit longer. Okay. Okay, it's just starting to touch there. I'm going to put like another half turn in it or so. It's just starting to touch there, so if I pull the choke all the way closed, it should give me some increased throttle, like a fast idle cam. That's a cam that's on there. Now, did you guys see that it picked the throttle up? I'm going to open the choke. I can't see what I'm doing here. Where's the choke clipper? I'll have to watch it on the video, but that should have given me some kick-up throttle. It's going to be, because this is on a cam, so if it's touching down here when it's open or barely closed, it's going to pick it up when it goes on the choke. So that'll give you your fast idle when you first start it. So that's nice. Everything looks good over here. This is nice and tight. All that's good. I can go ahead and jam my fuel line back up on here. Brand new 5/16 fuel line. I'll reattach this. I use the fuel injection clamps everywhere just because they are a nicer clamp. They clamp down nice. I'll try to find some yellow paint or some black paint and touch up that hole. You know, I might put a little RTV on that so it doesn't rattle too. Just give it a little bit of cushioning. Should have been in a grommet, but it's a cable, it's not a wire, so it doesn't really matter. So in here is where the cable is. It's hanging under the dash, and when I need the choke, I just pull it out. That sets a full choke. I can go like half choke or whatever, but when you're done, so if it's cold day, I just pull it out, and that'll give me the fast idle and the choke. As soon as it starts, I push it in a little bit, let it warm up, and then I go all the way in when I'm done. And we got an electric fan override switch here, so it's nice out of the way. It kind of matches everything. It's real unobtrusive. I could paint a little C on it if I wanted to for choke, but that's $13. We got ourselves a choke here in the 40 Mercury, and it should start right up whatever weather we're looking for. All right, so that's all I can do right now for tonight. I'm going to tighten up my fuel line clamp. We're all good there. I'll put a little RTV around the hole in the firewall. I got to tighten the nut on the cable on the inside just to hold it to the bracket. Pick up my tools. I got to go back to work, like I said, tomorrow after my stroke event. I want to thank everybody for asking about it, and I'm doing okay as long as I don't bash my neck and take my medicine. Knock on wood, I should be okay. So we just got to keep light duty action for the next couple of months. But small stuff like this is easy to work on, and we made good progress so far on the Mercury. As soon as this RTV sets up and I get a hose on it, well, actually, like I said, I got to jack the engine up. I'm going to fix the engine mounts. I got ordered some custom urethane bushings to replace the rubber ones that are shot there. As soon as I get that locked down, we can put the radiator hose on it, put the rest of the coolant in it. I have some corrugated rubber exhaust hose from garages, so I'm going to build an exhaust system for the exhaust system that gets me out the door so we can fire the thing up inside with the door closed and not get asphyxiated. So I'm going to work on that too. I got to get some 3-inch elbows and make a tie together for this car's got duals, so I need 2 pipes, and then I'm going to make a manifold into one and run the 1 pipe out the door. So that should work. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it runs with the 600. We'll tune it in. Hopefully we're all good here with the Edelbrock C3BX intake, old school action. I'll get my straight piece of hose, 1.5-inch hose. We'll find some there. I got the plug wires showing up, I think, tomorrow from Summit. We can put the plug wires back on, tune the engine. I've got a new dial back timing light we'll try in a separate video for like an unboxing / tool review. I went and bought it from Harbor Freight, so we'll try that out. And then I think we're on to suspension mods of replacing the lower control arms, putting new brakes on the front of this thing and get it dialed up. Some easy stuff I can do, and we'll go from there. A couple days later here, we're going to finish up this video, but I got my plug wires in from Summit Racing, and they are here. And they're pretty long because I got ones that go down behind the block or under the valve covers or whatever they listed them for. But they should work with our side-to-side sparkulator holder on our thingamajigs. And I've got the part number for you here over here. Where is it? It's this one, some 868511. And they should work good to go in here. They're for a point style cap. I think you can also get them for HEI, but I had to get point style because that's what we got to work with here. So I think we're going to run them on out. And there's, what, 2 lengths. So I guess I'm going to need the longer ones to get to the front and shorter ones to get to the back. So let's see how we make out here. Number 1. Go like that. Oops, oops, oops. Get in there. And then we're going to come down around. Number 1 was plugged in like this. There goes. It's like 2 degrees out, so the furnace has got to run a lot in here. Sorry about the noise, but it is what it is. So I can land that guy. Boom. Land him here. Boom. Land them here, boom. Land them here, boom. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Let's see, do we need a little more? Get that away from the throttle. I guess it's going to be okay, or we can zip tie her away from the throttle. How are we looking? That's good. Man, that's super duper long. Perfect. So I'm glad I ordered those. They're going to work out good. Let me, I got to get out my schematic to tell me where to go. I forget the firing order, but Freiburg's out of shirt, what is it, 1643572 or something like that. So whatever way it goes, once like earlier, like I said, the number 1 used to be facing over here, but now I've made it over here. Kirk. So we're going to go with that. So I got to figure out my thing. So I guess I'll put you on time lapse and we'll go around and put these plug wires on. Alright, I got the plug wires on here, and they all fit pretty good. Some of the long ones are pretty long, so I had to boondoggle them up here, and they're kind of long. If I had a spark plug tool, I could shorten this one up, but I'm not worried about it. I got them kind of played around up here. Did I tighten this up? This clamp? Yes, I did. They don't look too bad up there, all up on there. Everything is hooked up. I used some other spark separators I had on the original plug wires to hold them together there, so it's kind of laid out decent. I think it's going to be okay with my headers all laid out, so stuff shouldn't burn. Over here on the driver's side, looks pretty good, same thing. It shouldn't burn anything, and they're pretty much out of the way, so looks good there. Next thing I got to do is find a hose, and I need a hose like this. This one, unfortunately, is like 1 3/4 diameter, but a straight hose like this that would fit pretty much from there to there. So I got to go to the auto parts store. I went through all my hoses to see what I had. I had this piece, which is 1.5 inches. Oh no, that's actually too big. 1 3/4 inches. Is it 1.5 inches? Yeah, that's probably a little big, maybe. Yeah, it might work, but it's not long enough. The straight section is not quite long enough. All my other stupid hoses, I got tons of hoses. None of them were good enough to do what I had to do. So I'm gonna have to get a straight piece. Summit Racing's actually got one for like 13 bucks, but I think I can find something at the auto parts store. If I go in the back and they just let me like look at the different hoses, I might find something I can buy that I can just cut down, or I can just order a straight crinkly one. So we're all good except for that. That's about it. I got to change oil on this engine because it needs it. I think everything else is hooked back up. Once I get the hose going, I'll zip tie this plug for the electric fan, which goes on there like this. I'll zip tie that guy to the hose, kind of go there like that. Actually, we'll run it under here like that. Yeah, that'll work out just fine. So we'll leave that guy free balling for now. I think that's it. I'm waiting for the big winter storm. It's already happened for everybody, but it's happening for me tomorrow. Is delaying the shipping on my bushings to fix the motor mounts. So as soon as they come in, I can go in there and go. But I think the engine work is pretty much done, and I have the chrome air cleaner to go on here. But I think I did everything I got to do to get this thing going, running. And once I fix the motor mounts, we'll be able to set it down. I think the next things we're going to tackle on this car are probably the front suspension, changing out the lower control arms. And you can see how this wheel is back in the wheel well. We'll talk about that more in a future video, but the lower control arm is bent back. So it's a Mustang 2 front end, and I have brand new Speedway two-wheeler control arms. And I've got Speedway boxes over here. We're going to put 11-inch brakes on the front of this because it has, right now, the small 9-inch Mustang 2 rotors, which I don't know if you can see that, but so we're going to work on that. It's probably the next step. Since I'm recovering from my stroke action, I can't get under here to pull the transmission out. I have a collaboration coming up with a real big YouTuber from up north that is going to happen. So hopefully that works out. The weather's pretty iffy, so hopefully they can get down here. But we got a collab coming up with that. You'll see it here on the channel. It's going to be super awesome. I'm also working on the 400 small block for the C10 and a separate video here, which I can't remember if it came out before or after this, but pulled the intake off, took a look, put the intake back on. I got it scuffed up for paint. I got to clean the engine up. Well, here's the air cleaner for the Mercury right here. Boom. We got to change the oil pan. I got a nice Felpro gasket for that. As you can see, sitting here, it's leaking oil from this front seal, and I'm pretty sure it's because the gasket's not fitting this chrome pan correctly. So we're going to deep six the chrome pan and the leaking gaskets. We're going to try to put a rear main seal in this. I've just been let it sit here and drain, see if it drains all the way out, but it needs to be repainted. It's got paint coming off it everywhere. We're going to paint it Chevy orange and go from there, put the regular pan back on it. Hopefully it won't leak like that chrome job. Tried to change the rear main seal, which could also be leaking. It's kind of grungy back there, but that could also be the oil pan gasket not sealing on the chrome. But I have a rear main seal. Crane cam roller rockers, I should say, but stock hydraulic solid lifter tappet cam. I already plopped the intake back on. We're all sealed up, but I just need to clean it, get the pan off, do that stuff. Got to put a new front dress on it, new water pump and things like that. Painter Chevy orange. I got to restore the Mickey Thompson valve covers, and then we're going to dress this guy up. Headers painted white, just like my dad's original truck there. Seeing the wheel well, see the white headers. Going to be just like that, so we're going to dude this guy up. Got a separate video working on that. But the weather has been, as you well know, and this is a couple weeks ago for you guys now, or a week ago or two, weather has been completely horrendous, completely cold, big snowstorm coming through. I've had to move trucks around outside and get ready to plow. Like, I've been back to work, so all of a sudden my activity level has gone right back to zero. I'm able to work in the shop, plus the super cold weather is killing me for everything. So I do want to get this running. And in the future video of this PVC down here, when I fired up the Buick, I smoked myself out with the carbon monoxide and almost died. Well, guess what? I've got exhaust hoses over here, right here, that are meant for car exhaust ports. And I got 3 of them that I had, but I've got dual exhaust in this car, so I need a manifold to hook 2 of them together. So I bought some 3-inch PVC, hoping to run 2 hoses back to a manifold and then a single hose out the door so I can run the car. We'll break this guy in, probably in the next video, get it running. Oh shoot, I can't run it without the radiator. Nuts, I need the radiator hose to run it. Oh, balderdash. Hold on a minute, I've got the one I took off, this clinkety-clankety metal one. But now it's way too long, shoot, to work. And I don't know if it's adjustable. It seems like it wants to stay in the shape that it was in. I don't like how it necks down so far in there. It necks down to like an inch diameter, so I don't want to use this thing if I don't have to. And I don't like it. And now it's way too long because I changed from going up and over, so I'm not going to use that. So I got to find a water neck hose that's going to work. Now, unfortunately, that big storm has come in tomorrow, so yeah, this guy's too loose. I wish I had something. I might have to run to the auto parts store and see if I can find something that works so I can put this together so we can fire it up in the next video. I'm doing the best I can what I got to work with. You got to give me a break. A lot of things are going on, and I'm trying to do the best I can do with the cold weather and going back to work and light duty and doing the best I can. I like these What You Talk About Wednesday videos I've been doing with showing stories of my truck, showing some of my antiques. I hope you guys appreciate those. Something easy I can film where I don't really have to think about it too much, and it gets me some content out so I can get content out to you guys. Just got a whole bunch of factors fighting against me, and it's really a drag. So I'm doing the best I can with what I got to work with, and I hope that you realize that and stick through it with me, and we're going to get through one way or the other. But I'm doing the best I can. I lost this whole day. It's late now. I got to go and edit some more videos. I lost this whole day production-wise to a whole bunch of things, and it kind of sucks, but doing the best I can what I got to work with. So that's it for this one. I got to chase down some more parts and dodge snowbanks, but other than that, we'll do something, and you'll see it. Bam, right here. Even with the heater running, we're still making it happen. Stroke edition video here at the Quick Speed Shop.